Really quick, before the talking points for this versus video starts, I just want to apologize for the graininess that you're going to see or the quality of the video you're going to see. That's not really what I usually do for my videos. It usually looks like the way you see it now, but I had messed up settings on my camera and I don't really feel like filming all over again. So hope you still enjoy. Thank you all. What is going on, my beautiful LARPers and LARPettes? Today we are going to do a quick versus video between the Canik Rival steel frame and the Walther Q5 steel frame. Now the reason why I'm doing this versus video is because when I did my Canik Rival steel review, there was a lot of people that were interested in doing a quick versus video between the steel frame because they're, to me, in my eyes, extremely similar on a lot of the features that they have. And I'm going to go over pretty much all the features that you get in between one and the other. And maybe you guys are contemplating on purchasing one of these and want to know what the differences are, but you can't see them right in front of you. But before I get into all that, what is my relationship with these companies? Walther did not send this out to me. I did purchase this one here. And this Canik Rival S I did get for free from Canik to do that Canik Rival review. Aside from this being given to me though, I am going to give you my complete unbiased and honest review on the two firearms. I'm not going to let that cloud my judgment on which one I would prefer over the other. Now starting right at the front here, they both have 5-inch barrels, but on the Canik Rival you do have a fluted 5-inch barrels, and these are both chambered in 9mm. They both do come with fiber optic front sights and adjustable rear sights, but on the fiber optic front sights, you do have a larger, I guess, fiber on the Walther, and on the Canik, you do not. And also that fiber did fly out on me while I was shooting these videos. But it is thinner when you have the fiber on there than the Walther. I actually prefer the Walther. The size is faster for me to pick up on this Walther here than the Canik. And on the adjustable rear sights, the Canik is contained just with the rear sight itself. So you have the elevation right here in the back of it, or on the top of it. And then on the right side of the sights, you do have the windage. On the Canik, you have the elevation like up here. And they do get rid of the rear sight when you put an optic on it. That's the biggest downside that these two have. I don't like getting rid of my rear sights in order to put an optic on. I like to kind of co-witness whenever I can, but these being strictly competition guns, I get why they're just getting rid of it. Competition guys don't really have iron sights on their guns regardless if they're shooting with an optic on there. And also to add to that, the optic plates do raise it quite a bit where it, to me in my eyes, looks a little bit awkward compared to all the other guns that I have with optic plates. They're really thin, but on these ones, they kind of have them super thick. Now the slide on the Q5 isn't as aggressive as the Canik Rival S. They do have like a lot of cuts into the slide. On the Walther, you do have a little bit less aggressive slide cuts in terms of the serrations here that you use to get a good purchase on to rack that slide if you needed to. But the way it's cut up top, there's these holes up here, right? That lets the meat of my hand get a good purchase whenever I need to. So even though it's not as aggressive as the Canik, I do still get a good purchase on this whenever I need to rack it from the front. I like this more than the Canik because of how much of a slim profile it is. On the Canik, it sticks out a little bit more, and I notice when I'm using a holster and stuff like that, I'm always getting the material onto those slide cuts. But this is really, really aggressive. The way it sticks out, it's super easy to grip onto. And on the rear of the slides, again, you do have a little bit more aggressiveness on the Canik rear serrations than you do on the Walther. Moving on down to the dust covers, you do have a full-length dust cover on the Q5 steel frame. On the Canik Rival S, you do not have a full dust cover on this. This is one of my biggest concerns with the Canik Rival series, not just the S, but the other plastic version, is that you have these two big cuts right here on the slide. If you were to do anything other than competition, I guess, and you get dirt, debris, sticks, or brush, or whatever, you get inside of your gun for whatever reason, if it's not in a fully enclosed holster, right? I'm not sure, guys. I'm just saying that this worries me on getting debris or something in there and causing malfunctions whenever that slide starts to reciprocate. So far from what I've been doing, I haven't had a malfunction in that way whatsoever. I'm just concerned about not having a full dust cover. I think having a full dust cover would be a lot better on this Canik Rival S than this half-cut dust cover here. On the trigger guards on both of these, you do have some texturing up front, so if you're into putting your pointer finger on the front of that trigger guard to give you a little bit more leverage, you can. It is more aggressive on the Canik though than the Walther. And also to add to that, it's more aggressive on the Walther right here up front of the grip than it is on the Canik. This one's a little bit more slippery, so I 100% prefer the Q5 steel frames front grip right here compared to the Canik. Now the takedown lever on the Q5 steel frame also acts like a gas pedal, so you can rest your thumb on there and you can get a little bit more leverage with your thumb. But on the Canik, you do not have that feature for the takedown lever. The takedown lever is like this square thing on the left and right side that you pull down to release the slide. But in front of that, you do get some sort of small little gas pedal that's like an add-on. It's screwed into there on the left and right side. The slide stop, slide release on both of these are pretty damn similar. They're super easy to get reloads with. I want to point something out on the rear of the frames here. You do have a like beaver tail back here on the Q5 steel frame. On the Canik, you do have like a beaver tail, but it doesn't stick out as far as the Q5. On the Canik is very comfortable, but on the Q5 you do have these little humps back here where this little tail is at. Your hands are going to be different than mine, so take this with a grain of salt, but on my knuckle right here, that little hump digs into my knuckle, and every time I'm shooting it kind of rubs against that. I feel if I was going to shoot maybe a good 1,000 rounds or something, or shoot a long competition or something like that, I would get some type of blistering back there. I prefer the Rival S over the Q5 steel frame on that portion. The grips are going to be personal preference, so I don't like the hump that comes with the Q5. On the Canik, I do like that it's a little bit more flatter at the back here. As far as grips, there are aftermarket grips called lock grips that make a flatter grip here, and I have felt them with those on there, and it feels really, really nice. With those lock grips, I prefer the Q5 grip over the Canik here. Canik does give you the option of switching these grips out though, so if you do like that hump, maybe somebody's going to start making them with a hump back here. But again, personal preference, I prefer the Canik stock over the Walther stock. Magazine releases on both of these are ambidextrous, so you can switch this one from the left to the right side. And on the Canik, you can do the same thing, but on the Canik, you do have the option of putting different size mag releases. So it comes with some in the box. I think like 3 of them, a small, medium, large. And I think I have the smaller medium on this one, but you could just take that screw off and swap it out. Now moving on to the Magwell on both of these, I don't have any complaints whatsoever on the Magwells. They're super easy to get reloads on both of these. I had no issues while I was out there getting reloads, even though that the Canik is just slightly smaller. I am able to get extremely fast reloads with that. But aside from that, most of you are probably looking at getting into carry optics if you're going to choose one of these guns, so you can't have the Magwell on, I believe. So if you're looking at just reloading without the Magwell, it's basically the same as well. They do have little flares at the bottom of the Magwell. Now next up is the triggers. I can't really compare them too closely because they're two different kind of triggers, I guess. On the Canik, you do have this flat face, really, really nice crisp trigger. Not saying that the Walther isn't a nice trigger, I'm just saying that Walther does come out with a version that's extremely similar to this Canik here. I shot it at SHOT Show maybe 2 years ago. I think it's called the Q5 Steel Frame Pro. I'll try to find a picture of it with the trigger on there. But those triggers, that trigger compared to this Canik Rival S trigger, I think are pretty much identical. When I felt that one to this one, they felt extremely, extremely similar in my eyes. So this one here that I have in my hands is most likely going to be your cheaper option compared to that Pro version. This trigger on the Canik, I think, is a lot better than the Q5 steel frame. It's very light and very crisp, and it has a short reset. Super nice trigger on that one. That's one of the biggest things that sold me on Caniks, because like I said in my previous Canik reviews, I've never been a Canik fan up until the Rival came out. But with that being said, Walther has always had excellent triggers in their firearms. In my personal opinion, Walther is the top tier of factory striker fire triggers in polymer guns, I guess. This is a steel gun, but in their polymer Q5s and stuff like that, they have always had beautiful triggers in them. And I did go out and try to put myself to the test on if there's going to be a big difference between the two triggers, and it was very slight. Alright, so that was 7 shots. I got a 19, 15, 14, 13 split. So my fastest split was 13. So that was 8 shots. Accidentally got an extra one. That was a 14, 16, 14, 15, 17, 14, 13. So more consistent splits on this one here. That was a 248. Always. That was 7 shots, but 239. All A's. So as you saw there, I was able to get more consistent split times on the Rival S, but I was getting maybe shorter split times than the Rival S. I think I got a 13 split on here, I got a 14 split on there. So overall, I would choose the consistency on the Rival S over the Q5 match. But again, that's just this one here. If I had the version, the Pro version with that trigger, it'd probably be neck and neck, and I would just be splitting hairs at that point. Next up is the magazines. Now this is a really cool, interesting thing that I found out. Maybe you guys knew it already, but the Rival S and the Q5 both come with like 2 magazines, I believe. But on the Rival S, you do get 18 rounds in this magazine. On the Canik Q5, you get 15 rounds. But I think with this extension, I was able to get more. I think around 18. But the cool thing I want to mention is that I was able to put the Canik mags into the Walther, and they were fully functional. All right, this is a Canik mag in a Walther Q5 steel frame. Locks back, everything works. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to put the Walther mags into the Canik because they're a little bit thicker than the Canik mags. So if you have a Canik and you pick up a Walther, I'm guessing you could still use the Canik mags, because to me it was fully functional and locked the slide back. Now let's check out the weight on these two really quick. So I brought out a scale. I'm gonna give you a closer up, but I'm gonna put this down for myself. The Canik is, on the Walther, so the weight on the two are extremely similar. I would have thought that the Walther with that full-on dust cover and this little beaver tail here would be a lot heavier, but it seems to me that the Rival S is almost identical in weight to the Walther. Now in terms of the weight, the Canik is well balanced. But on the Walther, having the longer dust cover here, the extra added weight, is a little bit more front heavy than the Canik is. But I think I actually prefer that over the Canik. When I was out shooting them both, I liked the way this recoiled and came back into 0, I guess. And it just felt really smooth to me. Like that cycle just felt really smooth. On the Canik, it was a little bit more fast cycling. So that thing would come back faster and come back to 0 faster. Now when I put it on paper, it didn't really make a huge deal. Me personally, my personal preference was the recoil on this one compared to this one. I'll do a quick side-by-side comparison in slow motion to see if it actually shows any difference, because it might just be me in my head thinking that this one feels a little bit smoother. Now, aside from that, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I went over all the details, the differences, and what I liked about both of these and what I didn't like about both of these. Overall, they have both been really reliable for me. I think I have like 3,500 rounds to this one. I think I have around 2,500 rounds to this one, and haven't had any malfunctions yet. Now, let's go over the elephant in the room, which is the price. That is going to play a huge part in you choosing whichever one of these guns you want. The Walther Q5 Match SF is around, I think I saw on Gunbroker for brand new ones like 16 to 1,500 bucks. Upwards to like 1,800 or something like that for the Q5. This one here, not the Pro version, this one here. On the Canik, you're getting brand new ones all day long for 900 bucks. That, to me, aside from what it comes with, and I'll get into that in a second, is an absolute crazy, crazy deal of a price for a gun like this. Especially what you're getting for the price. You're getting a holster, you're getting magazine base plates, you're getting all the optic plates that go onto this, you're getting toolkits, you're getting extra magazine releases, you're getting extra fibers that I'm just able to slap on that one. Obviously, probably gave you one because of that reason. And you're getting a lot of stuff for that $800 to $900 price range. Compared to the Q5, you're getting just 2 magazines, a speed loader, and I feel like you're getting plates. I'm gonna have to pull it up right now, but even though I'm getting a couple things wrong, you're not getting as many accessories on the Walther compared to the Canik Rival S. So as far as price goes, especially if you're just getting into competition and you want to shoot something like carry optics, I would 100% look into the Canik Rival S because you're getting a holster and a lot of other stuff for that price. Now, if these were both the same price, I would go with the Walther just because aesthetically I like the way this one looks and I like that Walther name, right? Now, both of these guns are phenomenal guns, guys. I'm not trying to knock either or. I love a lot of the features on these guns. The fiber optic on the Walther, the rail on the Walther, the little bit of smoothness that I'm feeling on the Walther, but I do love the trigger on the Canik, and I like the grips a lot on the Canik as well. So it's just splitting hairs for my personal opinion on what I like about both of those if price wasn't involved. Since price is involved for you guys, that is a huge price jump between the two for a lot of features that you're getting in this compared to this one here. So essentially it's going to be up to you on which one you like. Do you like the Walther name? Do you like those little features that I pointed out here? Or do you like Canik and don't care about dealing with the, in my personal opinion, the reliability? I still need to get more rounds down range with the Caniks to feel 100% reliable with them, even though they haven't given me issues. But yeah, guys, hopefully I didn't confuse you too much if you're trying to look at purchasing one of these two. They're both phenomenal guns, like I said. So I think regardless of what you spend on them, you're going to be happy with whatever you get. And to add to that, if you guys haven't checked out my Springfield Echelon review, go ahead and check that out. I am teaming up with Second Amendment Foundation, and I am donating that Springfield Echelon along with a bunch of other cool stuff that I added on to that. And they are going to do a, I don't know if I can say these words, but it's a sweepstakes, and you can donate and potentially win something cool on there. So go ahead and check out the link in the description that I'm going to put down there and get yourself something cool or try to win something cool. But other than that, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all. Catch you in the next one.